Hello, good morning. My name is DEVORAH KESTEL. I'm the director of the Department of Mental Health and Substance Use at the World Health Organization. And today the idea is to bring to you an overview of the situation, the landscape of global mental health as it is written in the slide in the context of COVID-19 and its impact. Thank you very much for this opportunity to be here, even if virtually, with you. We met in the context of a very different world a year ago with some of you, and we thought that it was good to continue this dialogue by being here today. We have known for many years that adversity is a risk factor for short-term and for long-term mental health problems. And we learned then this issue in the context of emergencies and humanitarian situations in general. And what we know now is that COVID-19 pandemic has generated a situation that creates broad anxiety and panic and the feelings of helplessness and uncertainty that contribute to this. And we have the reasons that by now we are all very familiar with: isolation, the difficulty grieving for those who were lost close to us during this period, people with pre-existing conditions, mental, neurological, or substance use conditions, stigma, limited access to care as we knew it before. And so all of that and a limited capacity of countries to provide answer is what are considered the factors to increase this risk for the conditions we are bringing now. We recently did a survey on mental, neurological, and substance use disorder services. We got answer from 130 countries saying how are they doing with existing services. And one of the issues that we noticed is that the concept of mental health and psychosocial support that is so closely linked to situations of emergency and that we are promoting also in this context are present in almost 90% of countries. They have said that this concept is included in the response plan to COVID, but unfortunately only 17% of them have funds available to support the implementation of those plans or of the component of the mental health and psychosocial support component. And then when we look at how services are doing, then we found out that almost all countries, 93% of countries that responded, said that at least one of their services has been disrupted. Services, places where people find answer to their needs in the area of mental health, neurological issues, substance use conditions, where they can find the treatment they used to do before or some opportunity for new issues that have been generated precisely in that context of adversity that we just mentioned. So those services are almost all affected one way or the other. And the services that have been more affected than others are those that are more needed right now, which are services for promotion of mental health or prevention of mental health issues in schools, in the workplace, in the community in general. Psychotherapy and counseling have been partially disrupted as well, 60%. Those are big numbers, and those are the services that are mostly needed right now, as I'm sure you all know. And then 50% of services that are for substance use related issues as well have been disrupted, with the risks that some of that disruption means for people affected, continuity of care, etc. So We have been working a lot to bring mental health as a priority at global level during COVID-19 response. And you see there a picture of our Director General talking about the importance of including mental health and psychosocial support as an integral and cross-cutting component in public health emergencies response. And that's why almost 90% of countries have included mental health, because they realize that's the importance. We also produced, in the context of the UN, with the UN Secretary General, a big high-level policy brief on, again, COVID-19 and the need for action on mental health, with clear assessment of the situation and very clear recommendations of what needs to happen, plus other documents that you see in that slide that are also bringing this concept at broader levels that are not just health and the World Health Organization. We then have produced a number of documents that I'm going to show you briefly that are, some of them, like these ones, are for the public, providing advice to the public on how to coping with COVID-19 stressors. So we have issues that are very specific, like how to manage stress on our own, with our own capacity. There is a very specific guidance on that, and then some what to do to take care of our own mental health, where to go, or what needs to be done when we can't go out, etc. And one of the issues that I want to highlight there is this book on the top that you see, My Hero Is You, that was developed for children to understand and cope with the current situation due to COVID. And this book has been translated in over 130 languages, and there are a number of adaptations, visual and science, and for indigenous communities, and every kind of different adaptation that tells us how much was needed, and how much there is a need out there to explain to kids what is needed, what is happening, and how to cope with that. And then we have also a set of documents that were developed for clinical providers, and those are more specific guidance on what is needed, how services should be, what are the essential services, and how they should look like in the context of the pandemic and in terms of safety measures. And we have also come up with collecting experiences from countries, what countries are doing to find alternative ways to deal with the current situation. And we have collected over 100 case studies, each one describing a specific situation that I invite you to look at if interested. And then we also have guidance for other agencies that need to respond to their own groups, right? And the one in the middle is one that I particularly like, that is basic psychological skills. What are first responders? What kind of tools, what kind of skills are needed for them to take care of themselves and provide better care to those who are receiving attention. And in that group, we can include all health providers, in the ones providing answer to people with COVID-19 conditions, but also those taking care of people in institutions. And then probably some of those of you who are now listening, what kind of attention is needed in this moment, who can provide it, and what kind of also attention is needed for the providers, right? I think that, yes, this is one specific slide on substance use and addictive behavior that we want to focus on. We have heard about the risks that we mentioned at the very beginning are also related to an increase in the consumption of alcohol and of substances. And we have the problem of people not realizing what is happening, and the increased numbers that are becoming an issue, but also people who may have the treatment interrupted, and this is valid for mental, neurological, and substance use conditions. In some of these cases, such as some of the substance use issues, may be serious risks linked to that. So we want to make sure that the services are disrupted, but there are alternative measures put in place to take care of those who need it again. And then I'm checking my time because I don't want to go beyond the suggested time frame I got, and I'm over. So the recommended actions that we have for countries are, on one hand, we have been talking about investment. We need more investment in mental health, on our own mental health, but also the communities investing in mental health, and also the governments investing in mental health. This is needed if we want to move this agenda forward and make sure that the needs of people are met, they find answers. The second priority is about the need to make sure that services are there. We said there are safe measures to take care of services, but services could also be what I understand is happening in the context that you are meeting there, which means that there is a group of people with knowledge and expertise that can provide answer to the needs that are emerging as a consequence of COVID-19 or have worsened as a consequence of the current pandemic. And then there is a continuity of services that could go from the immediate and medium-term needs to the long-term needs. And there is somebody taking care of that. And that is why resources are needed to support those services. And the third component, that is strengthen the monitoring what is happening, because we are all learning from this situation, and we need to make sure that the data is available for governments then to take measures according to informed decisions, so with the data that they are receiving. And so with these three recommendations, I'm going to say goodbye for now. I look forward to the dialogue we will have as a follow-up. Thank you very much for this opportunity, and have a good continuation. Goodbye.